To the staff of the new church. It's such a thrill, such an honor to participate in this series. When I was young, and I was 8 years old, and I would go to church with my family. We would go mostly on holidays. But behind the altar in the front of the church was a large kind of fresco type painting on the wall. And it was Christ kind of hovering in the air, but very kind of soothing colors. But I would sit there in a pew and, I would reflect a little bit about transcendence. And so I think that, the way that churches have functioned within our society, it's been a vehicle to bring about bringing a community together, and what's really important in humanism, support each other, how we can individually become, but also that we can also share that information with the community, and that you take care of the community around you. It's something that art is deeply involved with. In my Gazing Bowl series, which this Perugino painting is part of, the whole series is really about transcendence, and the dialogue of the church is really about in the past about transcendence, and I think that we have kind of two realms of the eternal that we can contemplate. We have the biological realm, where life continues to leapfrog. And if we even look at some of the remnants of the pillars, or some of the detailings of the building, the architecture, you can see the motive of flowers. And this is life continuing, the idea of the eternal through biology, chemical reactions. And at the same time, we have this much more ethereal, ephemeral idea of the eternal through ideas. We have Platonism. And so the Gazing Bowl series, tries to bring both of these realms of the eternal and have a dialogue with metaphysics. In America, a gazing bowl is a lawn ornament. Its history is Venetian. From around the 1500s, they started to make gazing bowls, and they were used at different times in Europe. Sometimes they were used as lawn ornaments, but mostly in the interiors of homes. King Ludwig II of Bavaria helped repopularize gazing bowls. He put them in the gardens at Schloss Kinzig. And because of where I grew up in Pennsylvania, there's a large German population. You see people put them in their front yards. So whenever I would be riding around, or even to this day when I have a farm in Pennsylvania, you see gazing bowls everywhere. And it's, for me, a symbol of generosity, that somebody would put it in their yard for their neighbor, because you can't help but look at one and feel the excitement of your senses. I mean, it's a visual excitement, but it makes my fingertips tingle, it makes my hearing more alert. It really affects you biologically, because a gazing bowl really informs you as much as it can. It works like a GPS system, and it tells you where you are in the universe. Now I see that the chandeliers here do a very similar thing, and it's really wonderful. They reflect the right here, right now. And so when a viewer looks at a gazing bowl painting, and they realize that if they move at all, everything changes. But the paintings are also being affirmed. And in this situation, it's a Perugino Madonna and Child with 4 saints. And so when the painting's affirmed, you can go into the painting, you can go into Perugino's world, and you can go back in time to like 1500. But at the same time, you're able to participate in the humanism of transcendence. And the way we experience transcendence is to find something greater than the self. When you can find something outside the self and you give it up to that, where you can say to that, then you're able to transcend. And in Perugino's case, it would have been to somebody like Verrocchio, or here in the Netherlands, Hans Memling. Very, very important to his work. He wouldn't be the artist that he was without Hans's work, without his friendship with Leonardo. And this type of humanism is how we become. If I look at the painting, and what I really love about Perugino's painting of the Madonna and Child with four saints, is you have the history of transcendence past that time that Perugino's referencing, and even to the artists and the humanities and the transcendence he's felt from the forebear giants that he was on the shoulders of. But you can go back into paganism, and you have Gieta. You have just the worship of the eternal through feminine form. And that feminine form then ties into the Madonna and Child. And so you have this history of humanism, of becoming. What art is, what I believe art is the essence of our own potential. So I hope that when somebody looks at something and they become excited by it, that's the art. It's never in the object. So if this gazing bowl painting can function in the realm of art, it's when a viewer becomes excited by some aspect of a narrative that they pick up, some sense of affirmation, but it's the essence of their own potential. And that's how, within metaphysics, you can go from this connection to the right here, right now, and the past, but also have your foot into the future. And it's through the essence of your own potential. That's the art. That's the only thing of value in the room. So I really want to thank everyone for coming. I'm so grateful for the new church to give me this opportunity to show my work in Amsterdam and in this context. And so it's just a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you.
Thank you.